the seating. Just touch that recline button and get ready for the full limo treatment. So you are in the absolute den of pure hedonistic luxury. Independent India's luxury car market is actually fairly young. We've only economically liberalized about 31 years ago, and ever since then we have seen the market grow leaps and bounds, which makes today a particularly momentous day because I have not just one but two cars which mark the absolute zenith of automotive luxury, technology and performance. Got your curiosity piqued? Good. Now, this mammoth SUV behind me needs absolutely no introduction. It's a Range Rover, and it's so recognizable because in the last 5 decades, Land Rover has ensured that the car's basic structure and shape doesn't change because it represents the absolute pinnacle of SUV luxury. Now, a Range Rover being launched is something of a seismic event in the automotive industry because it only happens once in 10 years. And this is, without a doubt, the most technologically advanced Range Rover you have ever seen. I'm going to take you through all the details, but I should warn you, any other car that you have ever driven or even looked at will now seem woefully inadequate. So with that said, let's take a look at what this Range Rover, the all-new autobiography version, has to offer. Now, in terms of design, it's more evolution than revolution. Even the previous one was pretty smooth, but this takes it to new heights. I mean, just look at the bodywork here. You can actually project a movie off this door. It's so seamless and smooth. The flush door handles existed in the past, but now you don't really need to reach out for them or your key fob. They just pop out as soon as they sense that proximity. The car, of course, sits on massive 22-inch wheels with 23 options available. Up front, you have these proper projector LED headlamps with about 1.2 million micro mirrors, which refract and throw light up to about 500 meters, which is what Land Rover tells me. Everything, as you can see, has been sort of seamlessly integrated, so the overall design is very smooth, nothing is protruding. Even the fog lamps are kind of, you know, when it's not on, it's kind of neatly integrated into the bumper, and the idea is that, you know, there's a level of sort of British understatedness to this whole car. There's always been that quality, but it lies even more enhanced now because it's the little stuff, you know, it's the silhouette, it's the overall shape. It doesn't really need to shout out the fact that it's a Range Rover, because if it had to do that, it really wouldn't be a Range Rover. This thing is absolutely crammed with features. I'm not kidding. They gave me like a 45-minute seminar on the amount of features that they are in there, and that seminar should just be called How to Make Other Vehicles Look Useless. This is a nice enough place to be in. There's plenty of leg room, the headrest is extremely comfortable, the seating angle is perfect, but that's just the beginning. Once the armrest unfolds, so does the action. Now you've got touchscreen here, which allows you to configure everything, most important of which is the seating. Just touch that recline button for the full limo treatment. Now the front seat automatically goes all the way forward. A flap comes out where you can rest your feet, and then the recliner comes out. So you are in the absolute den of pure hedonistic luxury. Now slide the screen open. It's pretty simple. There are only 6 items in this menu, but you can pretty much control everything from seats to climate control, the rear blinds, everything, massage functions, which are also extensive. There's another nifty little feature, the rear screens. Now you can obviously operate it all the way there, but you can just press this button and boom, there's 2 HDMI ports, so you can connect an Alexa or whatever, start streaming stuff onto that. And should you want a little better audio, this is another Range Rover first. It comes with Land Rover branded headphones. Plop those on and you're good to go. This is a more traditional form of luxury, and a 32 speaker surround sound system in case the headphones don't cut it for you. You also can control the temperature from here, the temperature of the ventilation coming from the seats, and then you can control the fan speed of the aircon up front. There are also lighting functions here in case you're working on your laptop or something, and then you can control from this screen how warm or cool you want this light to be. Right now I'm being given a hot stone massage, which I can only describe as just very self-indulgent. Now this pristine tub of luxury is where the chauffeur, or if you're so inclined, the driver of the car gets to sit, and it's really a thing of beauty. Again, there are old-fashioned luxury touches here. This is of course the biggest touchscreen that has existed on a Range Rover. You've got a 13.8 inch gauge cluster up there and a 13.1 inch multimedia screen. Just so much to configure. Firstly, in this post-COVID age, Land Rover has provided an air purifier, which not only purifies the air, it tells you the air quality index inside the car and the difference between what's outside. Delhi, if you're listening, this is going to come in very handy. But it goes one step further. It actually kills bacteria, viruses, and I'm told bad odor inside the car. Now, odor aside, bacteria and viruses being killed is a major draw for somebody who catches a flu every 8 hours. There are a lot of features from the Land Rover Defender that have been incorporated here. Firstly, the 360-degree camera. Now, you've got this setup and you just have to point at the camera and you get an idea of not only the surroundings around you, but that specific area that you want to see. My foot is on the brake. As soon as I take it off, the lights go away. So it is sort of a model of the car in real time. Then, of course, you have the off-road version right now. The ride height is high, so you've got these diff locks open. And of course, yes, the ride height is also configurable. We'll get into that in a bit. Apple CarPlay, wireless charging dock, storage unit here, cooled storage box here in case you want to keep some non-alcoholic beverages or alcoholic for the person at the back. You can cool it faster by pressing it twice. There is also what Land Rover calls the valet mode. It doesn't limit the speed. When you enter the temporary pin, valet mode is enabled, so the multimedia settings are locked, as is the glove box. Then you get to the off-road mode. There's a configurable mode now, which allows you to customize just what you want from the car. So of course you have your standard terrain response system, so you've got the standard settings: eco, comfort, grass, gravel, mud and ruts, snow, sand, rock crawl, wade, and then there is the configurable setting, which allows you to tweak everything and customize it to your liking. Of course, if you don't wish to do that and you couldn't be bothered, you just press this, and just like the Range Rover, the previous gen Range Rover, you have this auto mode which kind of just senses it all for you. You have active noise cancellation features and 2 noise cancelling features put in every corner of each headrest. So we've got 2 here, 2 there, 2 at the back, and there are 4 microphones in each wheel well that cancels out active road noise that is coming in through the wheel wells, and then you've got these which cancels the noise, the ambient noise coming in from the outside, and the result is of course this sublimely quiet cabin. Unfortunately, this is just a walk around. We can't really show you more of that, but what we can show you is that let's say this is actually kind of funny, but it does have a feature where you can record lap times. I'm not sure what kind of a sight this would be, slightly comical, throwing this around a racetrack. But Land Rover's convinced that this is all the car you need. So it's got the off-roading capabilities of a Defender. It's absolutely a luxury SUV limo, and apparently you can also throw it around the bends a little bit. There's a G meter, which is actually quite funny. Should you want to time your lap, well, there is that, possibly the slowest one on a racetrack. And then there is a quick configure setting which allows you to basically just tweak everything without having to go into the nitty-gritty. Alright, now that we've taken a look at what traditional old world, almost Victorian luxury looks like, let's go take a look at the future. This is the Mercedes-AMG EQS 53 4MATIC, the first AMG without an exhaust node, or an exhaust for that matter. So everything you've known about luxury cars and performance cars, just throw it out of the window, because the Mercedes-AMG EQS is pretty much different in every single way. As you can probably tell from this long bullet/jelly bean kind of shape that you have, Merc has tried to maximize on aerodynamic efficiency. So this is actually one of the most aerodynamic designs in the world, with a drag coefficient of around 0.23, whatever that means. But essentially what it allows it to do is have a 0 to 100 acceleration speed of just 3.4 seconds, which is just 0.4 more than the existing Audi RS e-tron GT, which is currently the fastest electric car in the country. And but what it also comes with is proper Mercedes S-Class like luxury, which just swallows up potholes. It doesn't make you feel like you're in a typically very aggressive AMG car. AMGs, of course, are known for how boisterous and enthusiastic they can be, and they also tend to ride a little stiff. I've not driven this car, but the air suspension is a vote of confidence. It does tell you that this car will be as comfortable as you'd want an S-Class to be. Let's not forget, Mercedes has chosen to launch the AMG version of the EQS before the actual standard EQS. What an oxymoron. But the standard basic EQS arrives, which is just pure electric S-Class luxury. A gentle swipe of the hand and you're inside what's clearly the most futuristic cabin ever. Alright, this is where the action happens. This is an S-Class, but it's an AMG first. So of course you're going to find yourself at the driver's seat more often, and the party piece of this is of course the Hyperscreen, the MBUX system, which is the most advanced one currently run by Mercedes. And so 141 centimeter canvas of pretty much everything you need to access in terms of performance, in terms of comfort. You've got fingerprint access, so as soon as I do that, I'm already thrown into my profile. It has about 7 different profiles, including one for the co-passenger who can access it from this screen. I'm going to get into that a bit later. Those familiar with the AMG will know that these knobs are to tweak the performance setting. In the case of this car, it's also accompanied by a certain almost foreboding electronic whir. So this is sport mode. As soon as we go into Sport Plus, it has this spaceship-like buzz that tells you that you're now going to get access to all the power and torque instantaneously, the kind that throws it from 0 to 100 in like 3.4 seconds. Just to take you through this, there is a track pace mode, but it automatically has to use the onboard sat-nav to detect a track, otherwise it won't really go into action. As you can see, closed off for tracks and public use. It doesn't detect any track, so we can't really do anything about that. But you can of course tweak performance to individual levels, and the buzz continues until of course you go into normal mode. Then you have this large screen. There's also Apple CarPlay available, so should you want in a second, you can just switch to a more familiar sort of setting, and immediately you have this big screen that's available to you, and it just doubles up as your phone screen. And then there is, you've got your massage settings, you've got ambient lighting, all kinds of configurations that can be just, one tap of a finger. and everything is accessible to you. You've got a flat bottom steering here, and you've got these paddles. Unfortunately, we can't use them today. They're actually supposed to be so powerful that you rarely need to apply the brakes, because just regenerative braking alone here can help you recuperate more power and actually even save your brakes and prolong their usage. This is an AMG, so they've got like carbon ceramic discs. They've really thrown in everything they would in a proper bona fide AMG supercar. And that's why it boasts of performance figures like that. Of course, top speed is limited to 250 kilometers per hour, but that's not what this car is about. This car is about the sheer opulence, just the futuristic look, just having to tinker away with all these incredible exotic features that really make you feel like you are part of the future. So that's what it's all about. Yes, you're going to want to drive this all the time, but should you want to sit at the back, that's a pretty good space to be in as well. And here we are in the absolute lap of luxury. In this case now, the AMG aspects of the car take a literal back seat, and you're suddenly back in what feels like your typical S-Class. You've got ample legroom. You've got, of course, these carbon fiber trim, the Burmester surround sound system. Everything feels just a little more sporty, but at the same time, it feels, you know, very comfortable, very opulent. And you've got perforated, you know, cool seats. You've got 2 cushions as opposed to the one you usually see. And of course, then there is this, you know, detachable tab which allows you to also tweak the settings at the back. Seat positioning, climate control, everything you want can be operated through here, and you really don't need to worry about anything. Of course, if I was the owner of such a car, my sights would be almost always set on that perfectly contoured steering wheel, which tells me that there is just ridiculous amounts of power and performance waiting up ahead of me. But should I be otherwise occupied, then this is a perfectly lovely space to be in.